Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another episode of the Minecraft Survival Let's Play. So I'm starting today's episode a little bit differently. I'm over here in the Nether doing some Netherite mining, and this has been recorded over multiple months. So I started off with 2 shulker boxes full of TNT, then every now and then I've come down to the Nether and done a little bit of mining just to see how much ancient debris I could get. And this was actually started in about June of 2022. So it has been quite a long time since I started this. I was planning on recording this for one entire episode, but instead I'm just going to show it for the start of this episode. So of course my main aim on this world is to get 1 stack of every single item. So that includes all of the netherite items like the blocks, the ingots, the netherite scrap, the ancient debris, the lodestones. There's probably 1 or 2 others that I'm forgetting. So I do need a lot of netherite just for that. But another goal I have for myself on this world is to get a netherite beacon. So of course that's 2 stacks and 36 netherite blocks. So those are the reasons that I decided to do all of this netherite mining. And I did hope to get this recorded much quicker than it actually took me to do. But I did take a lot of breaks from recording YouTube videos and just breaks from the game in general in 2022. So this ended up taking like quite a few months. So if you notice in between some of the clips, my XP does go up quite a lot. There's a good chance that there was like 2 months between some of these clips. So yeah, I've just been doing some netherite mining and I thought I'd show it at the start of today's episode. So from all that grinding over a few months, I managed to get about 11.5 stacks of ancient debris. I don't know if that's more than people expected or less than people would have expected, but this is how much I managed to get overall. And I've actually got 8 blocks in here as well. I'm not really sure when I got them, but I've got another 8 blocks. So I'm just going to put all of these into the blast furnaces, and then I'm going to add them to the netherite beacon here. So I've already got 18 blocks, and we'll see how many more I can get once I've smelted all of this down. It's all smelted and ready to turn into ingots. So that's 2 stacks and 57 ingots. And you can see there that that's 20 blocks overall. So I think I'm actually pretty happy with that. 20 blocks of netherite plus the 18 I've already got. That's a decent amount of progress that I'm making on the netherite beacon here. And then of course I've got the 5 ingots left over here, so I'm going to put that and this inside the shulker box and keep that safe in the ender chest. So that's 38 blocks of netherite overall, and for a full beacon you need 2 stacks and 36. So I still need another 2 stacks of this stuff. It's going to take a long time to get. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work on this whenever I have some time and I feel like working on it. And I'm going to record all of the clips of me mining the netherite again. And I'm going to make it into one video. So it's probably going to take me at least like 6 months to record, probably even a year. And then I'm going to make an episode of the Let's Play once it's completed. So you won't see me mining any more netherite until I release that video, and in that video I'm going to fully complete the entire beacon. So it's going to take a lot of hours, a lot of grinding. I'm going to need to get a lot more sand for TNT and stuff. So you might see it in the background where the beacon gets a little bit bigger over time while I'm working on other projects around the base. But that's just because I will be recording all the clips and I'll be like extending the beacon ready for that one video where it's fully completed. So if you see it getting a little bit bigger over time, that is the reason why. Okay, so moving on to the project that I want to work on today. I'm back over here at the Guardian and Iron Farm. I built this a few episodes ago. I spent a lot of time on that video and it did pretty well on the channel. So I just wanted to come over here today and try to finish it. But there's still a lot of work to do, so I don't think I'm going to have time to completely finish it. But I'm going to try my best. So I'm sure most people saw that video because it did do pretty well on the channel. But if you didn't see it, I have a Guardian farm in the middle here. And then I've built 4 iron farms that are in the simulation chunks. So if I stand in the center here, I can load all of the iron farms at the same time. So I'm getting the rates of 4 different iron farms. The plan was to have 4 more up in the sky, but that didn't quite go to plan. I couldn't make it work. So I might try and do that again at some point, but I was pretty happy with the rates I was getting from the 4 iron farms anyway. And I ran into another issue as well when I was building this. So the original plan was to stand AFK right here in the centre of the entire project, and I would get all of the rates from the Guardian farm, and then I would also be able to run the iron farms and get all of the iron drops at the same time. However, the Guardian farm only works if my simulation distance is on 4, which is like the lowest you can have for Bedrock. And the iron farms are only in the simulation chunks if the simulation distance is on 8 or above. So unfortunately I can't use both at the same time like I originally wanted. But I still like this project. I can still get plenty of iron when I need it, and I can get plenty of Guardian drops when I need it. But anyway, like I said, I want to try and get this project finished today. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it completely finished, but I have the 2 quadrants here that I need to get done. So you can see I've got the Nether one on this side, and then it goes through into the snow biome. And then I have 2 more quadrants. So the one here, and then the one just here. I want this one to be a deep slate cave, so like the underground, there's going to be some ores in the walls and stuff, and maybe some like caves that go into the walls and come out at other places. But this one here, I really don't have any ideas at the moment, so I'm hoping I can just kind of think of something while I'm working on this one. So that's what I want to do in today's episode. If I have time afterwards, I'm also going to try and get the storage room done. So at the moment, the items are just kind of coming down here, and then getting stored in the chest. So I need to try and come up with a storage room in here, and I also need to connect all of the Guardian drops, because at the moment you can see there's some chests up there. I need all of those drops to come down into the storage room as well, but I really don't know if I'm going to have time to get onto that in today's episode. There's also a few finishing touches I could add to these 2 biomes as well. So I don't want to waste any more time, I just want to get straight to work and see what I can do. I started off by mining out some more area in the walls to work with, because mining blocks is pretty much all I do on this world. And then I started filling in some of the area with some deep slate blocks. And I did want to use the regular deep slate, but I decided to use the cobbled instead. And there's actually a few reasons for that. So the main reason is because I needed the stairs and the slabs, and you can't get the regular deep slate stairs and slabs. But also the regular deep slate is directional, so it'd be a pain to place it in the right direction all of the time. And the final reason is just because I had so much of this that I might as well make use of it. But speaking of the stairs and slabs, I started trying to place some of them around just to give the walls a bit more shape. I don't really like doing this part, I'm not sure how to make it look good, it takes a lot of trial and error. But I think I came up with something in the end that looks kind of okay. Once I was happy with the shape, I started trying to add in a few different colours and textures. So I started off placing some ores around, and then I tried to do a big iron vein, and I'm actually pretty happy with how this one turned out. And then finally I added a few patches of tuff around. After that I got to work on some geodes, and this is actually the main reason I decided to build the cave biome in the first place. I wanted to put some geodes around, I thought they'd look cool, and I'm pretty happy with how one of them turned out, not so much on the other, but we'll get to that a little bit later. And another idea that I got to add a little bit more colour to the area was to have some skulk around. So I decided to have a cave dedicated to the skulk, and then tried making it come out in veins. And then to add some finishing touches to the build, I added some lava and some water around. And then the final thing was a ruined portal. It was only a small one, it didn't take too long to build, and I'm pretty happy with the outcome. Okay, so this is what I've managed to come up with so far. I'm not going to say this is like the finished outcome, because I probably will change a few things about it or add some more things, but this is what I've got going on so far. So this is supposed to be a cave biome, and it was kind of difficult to do the walls because obviously walls in caves all go up to the roof and then it like arches over. But without that roof there or the ceiling, I wasn't really sure how to do the top of the walls. So I've just done this, and then I've tried to add in as much depth and then texture and stuff into the walls as well. So you can see the iron ore vein there. I was pretty happy with that, I think it looks pretty natural. And as I mentioned, one of the main reasons I wanted to do this biome here was so I could build some geodes. So I built 2 of them, and I kind of like this one more. I think I kind of messed that one up. That's the first one I did, and then I came over here and did this one. I think this one turned out a little bit better, and the reason I'm crouching around is so the sensors don't pick me up and then start screeching. And if I come up here, I tried to add a little bit more shape to the area by having this little hill that goes up, and then I've got some ore scattered around up there, and then I've got 2 caves. So the first one is the skulk cave here. So I'm going to try and crouch into this without setting the things off. But this is just a sculk cave, and as you get further in here, the sculk kind of gets more dense, so there's more of it around. And then this just goes up here. So this part is actually natural. I just replaced the walls with the sculk and then the deep slate, but the shape of it is actually just a natural cave. And then down here, from about here onwards, I built all this by hand. And then if I sneak out of here, there's another cave here, and again this one is natural. I just replaced all of the stone with the deep slate, and then this goes over into the nether cave. So this was again natural, I've just replaced it with netherrack. So of course at the moment it's kind of a clear divide between like where one biome ends and then the other one starts. I think I want to kind of mix this up a bit, make it more random so it's not just one straight line. But before I do that, I'm going to try and finish all of the biomes. And then I also want to do something underneath this bridge. So this is the same on all four sides. I just want to come up with some kind of design or pattern for the underneath. So I'm going to say this one is just about finished. I don't think any of the quadrants are completely finished yet. I'm definitely going to make some more changes to all of them. But it's pretty much finished. So I'm going to move on to the next one. And I've had time to think about what I want to do here. So I thought it kind of makes sense to do an end biome, but I just wouldn't know how to make that look good. But if I did one from the end, that means I've got a quadrant from each dimension. So the nether, the end, and then the overworld. And then I've got another one from the overworld, but this is like the underground. So I thought that would be a cool idea, but I just don't know how to make the end look good. I can't think of anything I could do to make it look good at the moment. And also this is a little bit off topic, but I flew over here by accident. I went the wrong way when I was trying to fly back to the base, and I found a little ocean monument somewhere. It's actually right there. So it's like a mini ocean monument, but most of it's missing, so it's only like the centre of the monument. It looks kind of weird. I might have to get a night vision potion to show better, but you can see that if I come down here, it's kind of just like half a monument, and you can kind of come down here and come back out. So this is like some weird world generation that you get when you update your world with new updates that come out. But anyway, distractions aside, I want to get back to work on this. I really want to try and get it finished in today's episode. So I don't know if I'm going to work on the final quadrant or if I'm going to do some work on the interior in here. So I'm quickly going to decide what I want to do next, and then I'm going to get back to work. So I actually went ahead and I finished the fourth quadrant here. So I decided to go for the end theme, and the way I've done this is I've got the black concrete in the walls, and this is supposed to represent the void. And then of course I've got the end stone with the chorus flowers, and I've got a little bit of the end stone bricks at the bottom, and that's just to get some hidden lighting in this place so it's not too dark on a night time. So those are some slabs, and then I've got some light underneath all of those just to light it up, because if there's lots of mobs around here, when I'm using the Guardian farm, it's going to reduce the rates. So I need to try and make sure all of this is spawn proof. So yeah, this is the fourth quadrant, and that's all of the quadrants finished now if I fly up here. Well, I say finished, I'm definitely going to be adding some more little details to each of them. But they're pretty much finished, apart from a few minor details I'll be adding later on. One thing that I wanted to add to this one is I wanted to add an end flying ship, like where you find the elytra. But the normal one is a little bit big to put in here, so I'm going to have to make my own version that's a little bit shrunken down, just so I can fit it in here somewhere. So I think that's the only thing I'm going to be adding to this one. But before I do any of these little details, I actually want to finish the storage room in here. So this is a big area that I need to fill here, and this farm produces quite a few items from the Guardian farm above and then the Iron farm. So it's going to take a lot of planning, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill up the entire area. So I'm going to try and like just come up with some ideas. I've got an idea of the blocks I want to use, and I'm just going to try and see what I can do inside here. So that didn't actually take as long as I was expecting it to take. I've put this project off for quite a while because I really wasn't sure what I was going to do with the storage room. But I think it came together quite nicely. It didn't take too long to do. It actually took a little bit longer to get all of the item filters back here. But again, this was pretty easy to do. It's just like repeating the same thing over and over again. So overall, it was pretty simple, and I wish I didn't put it off for so long now. You can see that I've got storage for all of the different items that this farm produces. So some of the items that I'm going to get in bulk, like the prismarine shards and the crystals, these have a full 20 double chests for storage. And then other items like the cod and the cooked cod that I can get from these farms, these only have the 10 double chests, so there's like half for the raw cod and then half are for the cooked cod. That's the same for the salmon here, the same for the string and the bones, the ink sacs and the glow ink sacs. For some reason I decided to give the poppies a full 20 double chests of storage. I don't really know why. And then of course the iron over here, I've got a full 20 double chests as well. So I've been crafting some of this into blocks. And then I've got some bulk storage on the walls over here. So I'm going to be storing some items in shulker boxes and then putting them inside these chests here. So I've already got a full shulker box of iron blocks and then the cod over here. And then over on this side, I'm going to be crafting some of these blocks up and then storing them. So I don't have any at the moment, but I'm going to be storing plenty of prismarine and dark prismarine, some sea lanterns as well over here. So yeah, this is the room. I will make some changes to it. I don't really like the roof, but there's not too much I can do with this, because a lot of the roof, especially over on this side, if I break through these blocks, it's like on the outside of the monument, so I can't really do too much there. But I might be able to do some little bits over on this side. I definitely want to do something with the floor. I've got an idea, but it's going to be a big project, and I'm not going to start that in today's episode. Of course, I need to cover these item streams up as well, so this is just the iron that's coming from the iron farms. It flows down here. And then if I fly outside, I'm not really a big fan of this, but I did this with the Guardian farm, so this is how all of the items are coming down. It's just a big row of hoppers. I couldn't really think of another idea of how to do this. I didn't want to make it too bulky, but this needs to be here with the water stream. This is how the Guardians spawn and they go up to the top. And I've come down with the hoppers here, and then I connected it down at the bottom. So if I stand here, you can get a bit of a better view. There's really not too much else I could have done with this, so this is what I've gone for. I'm hoping once I've built something around the top there, it's going to look a little bit better. And I think that's actually what I'm going to do next. So there's just a few little finishing touches I want to add to some of the biomes around. And then I also want to build something around the top here. So once I've done that, this project is pretty much complete, apart from a few changes I'm going to make to the inside, but I'm not going to have time to do that today. Getting straight back into it, I started off with the AFK platform. So the plan was to build a Guardian, or a mini version of a Guardian, around the AFK platform. And at first I wasn't really too sure about this, but I am really starting to like it. I've looked at it quite a few times now, and I think it does just fit in with the rest of the build. Next up, I went to add a few little finishing touches to the Nether biome. So to start off with, I added some smoke underneath the lava just to add a little bit of animation to the area. And then after this, I added another ruined portal. So I've already got one in the cave biome. I thought I would add one to the Nether biome as well. And speaking of the cave biome, I added a few little finishing touches over there. So I started off by adding a few rocks just to make the ground look a little bit less flat in areas. And then I realised that I forgot to add the copper ores to the build earlier. So I went around and added a little bit of copper. And the final few finishing touches here, I worked on the underside of the bridges just to finish them off. And then I mixed up all of the blocks in between the biomes, so it's not just one straight border between one biome and the next. It's only a little change, but I think this made a big difference. Okay, so I think I can finally say that this project is fully completed. There's definitely a few little changes I could still make, especially with the storage room. I think I'm going to work on the floor a little bit at some point in the future. But it's fully functional. The Guardian farm works, and the iron farms work. All of the storage is fully automated, and then all of the quadrants around the outside are finished as well. So I'm going to say that it is fully completed, even though I might come back and change a few things in the future. And I think this might actually be the first ever time I've started a mega project like this and actually finished it. I've tried doing things like this in the past, probably not quite to this scale, and I've always just kind of not finished them for whatever reason. So I'm pretty happy that I've finally managed to fully complete one of these. And I just want to quickly show some of the changes I just made there. So I did add some smoke underneath the lava, but unfortunately you can't really see it when I'm up above there. It's not really too much of a big deal. And there's one of them that I added a hay bale underneath, and that one goes a lot higher than the rest. Like you can see, it's coming up above where I am here. The rest of them stop down there. So that's one little change I wanted to make for a while that I made. I added a ruined portal here in the Nether biome. And then I added a little bit of copper around. It's not really too many changes, but I thought the floor was a little bit flat around here, so I added some just little rocks around here. And then I think the transition between the biomes is so much better. Like, it's not really a big change, it's just like mixing up a few blocks. But I think it makes such a big difference just having a mixture instead of like a straight line. So it looks good in between all of the biomes now. So if I fly around here, just crash into everything in sight. Yeah, you can see it's the same on all of these. And I do think that's a massive improvement. And while I'm here, you can see the underside of the bridges. So this is the same for all of them. I think that makes a big difference as well. Like, obviously it can't be much worse than it was before, but I think I did quite a good job with this. Even though you're not really going to see it at all, I think that looks quite nice. And then the other thing I did there was this guardian at the top. And at first I kind of thought it didn't really fit in with the rest of the build, but it's starting to grow on me. I do actually like it. I've used it quite a few times since building it, and I think it's quite a nice addition to the area. I couldn't really think of anything else to do with this bit because I needed an AFK platform, and this is what came to mind. I tried thinking of other things, but yeah, this is what I went for in the end. And when I want to stay AFK, I stand right here and then just switch it on. So yeah, this is the fully completed project, and I'd like to know what everyone thinks of this because it did take me a lot of time. Like, just draining the water out alone took me maybe 30 hours or something, I can't really remember. And then I've put a lot of time into all of the digging. For whoever didn't see the first video, I actually moved this monument as well. So I had to destroy it and then move it down and back by a few blocks. So a lot of hours went into this project, and I'm just glad that it's finally done and I can start using it to get all of the prismarine and then all of the iron that I'm ever going to need. And I do need to spend some time cleaning up. I've got all of these shulkers and chests over here, and then a lot more over here, and these are all just full of like random stuff. So I've been working on this for a few months and all of this stuff's just been building up. I need to take it all back over to the base and sort it out into the chest. And speaking of the base, there's one more thing that I quickly want to do to end today's episode. So a few episodes ago someone commented that these respawn anchors will not be able to be obtained in the 1.20 update. So there's 5 different types of respawn anchors. There is the regular one, and then this is with 1 glowstone, 2 glowstone, 3 glowstone, and then 4 glowstone. So the way you get these is you put them down, you add the right amount of glowstone, and then you break them. So I've got 3 more stacks here because I do need to get a stack of each of these. So I just thought I'd collect them now just in case that comment was right and I can't collect them after the 1.20 update comes out. But anyway, that's all I've got time for in today's episode. I'm hoping now that I've got the Guardian farm finished, I can start some other big projects on the world. I'm hoping I can do quite a few projects on the same scale as that. Maybe not quite as big, but I want to try and get more mega projects around the world. The next video is going to be a world tour, and I know quite a few people have been looking forward to that, especially over on TikTok. So I'm just going to be going through my world, showing the builds that I had right at the start, and all of the current projects that I'm working on, and even some other stuff around the world that you don't really see in videos. But that is all I've got time for in today's episode, so I hope everyone enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.